Hello, Internet. I'm playing with my ZR. So I did a video yesterday about the H.265, well, whenever that gets posted. And today, before I go out and film anything else, it's kind of cloudy, so maybe not. I'm now going to play around with the red R3D NE, and that's what I'm recording in. But I also wanted to see how that would work when you turn on product review mode. So right now, that looks pretty darn good. I'm looking at my Shinobi monitor here. It doesn't have to be like right in front of my face and block my eyes like we used to do things in the old days. It just hold it up, whatever is closest to the camera, and back to my face. And I set the autofocus speed to 4, so it's kind of a smooth transition. So I think that's something that works very well. Usually I kind of like it snappy, but you know, as I get better in video and learn more about how to do these things, I start to tweak things a bit. Now, a few weeks back, I did a video on the Red Creative LUTs. I put them in a Z8. Well, I shouldn't put them in a Z8. I loaded them to Resolve so that I could utilize them when I'm editing Z8 footage. I did something like early morning, I think like sunrise or first light, something like that. You guys should check out that video where I kind of went through the different looks. But I want to do that with like different areas as well, so you guys can get a look for that. I'm not sure what color my shirt is looking. It's kind of a light green, but right now I'm going to do, well, the monitor is showing red, what's it called? Film bias, because I want to start with that. But of course, because it doesn't bake it into the footage like my trusty, and I keep calling it trusty, the FX3. I wish Nikon would do that, so that kind of saves you some editing at the end of it. But I do know that they allow you to apply some LUT looks when you're shooting SDR or log. There's only one inside the camera right now, and I think that's the city bias version. Still trying to figure out how to get into the Nikon Cloud to download stuff. So I've been playing around with that, but you know, I've been watching videos and listening to things, and want to make some videos to let people know who are not used to Nikon cameras, how things work, or to help my fellow photography brethren who are looking at getting into the video side of things and want a camera that can make things easier for them. And let me dive into that for a second. I think a lot of people don't realize that the ZR is more of a simpler using camera for video than we're used to with our Z mirrorless cameras. And why I say that? I know for some people we're used to diving into the memory. I remember I was talking to someone the other day and we're talking about the memory, and it was going through, you know, I don't have this edit right now. It was scrolling through the menu. I said, you don't have to do that. Just use your finger and slide up just like you would do on the iPhone. And someone is like, oh, but it's not, you know, as accurate. I'm like, yeah, but the more you play with it, the better you get. That's how it is. Now that I have the ZR, it's like, I want to find something, beep, beep, beep. Yeah, easier, bigger screen, easier to access things. And I think that makes it simpler for people to work with. Yes, the bigger screen does help when seeing things as well. There is another thing that I think Nikon should do, and that's when it comes to the menu. I look at it and I go, you know, they could have done this better. Everything is kind of listed down, 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 down. And let's say, for example, microphone settings. They could have like an icon up top, you know, for certain different areas, or different portion of what you want to look for in whatever thing you're trying to change. Like, again, microphone. Select the microphone section, and then you can have your 32-bit float. And then on 32-bit float, what you can do with it. It's really basically on and off, but also you have the manual settings. I should have to turn it on here, then go down and then set the volume levels. It should be like 32-bit float right underneath there. You need to put it in manual mode. Okay, sure. What do I need to do right now? why do I have to look for that, right? Something like in the video setting, I want to look at my, what do you call it, picture controls, and I want to put it in there. I select SDR, N-Log, whatever I want, and then that same thing, and I like right below it, it's like you want to do this picture profile, or you want to use the LUTs, the LUT look, whatever you want to do, it's all underneath the same thing. And I remember seeing, I think it was the Hasselblad and one of the new Leica cameras where everything was kind of like icons in the menu. It's like, dude, this is what we need. You flip that switch to video, it looks different than the photo stuff. Yes, I know. It's kind of like, well, people have been used to this for years. It's fine. We will understand that this is a new menu system and we will learn it because it's more itemized, it's more user-friendly is the term. You want to go on the mic, it's there. You want to go on the, what do you call it? Monitor tools, it's there. Whatever it is, it's kind of inside that little drop-down menu where it's like a 5 icons on top or the bottom, or if it's a scroll, but once you get into it, all the things are there. I shouldn't have to go there. No, that's old school. We're in the future now. You come out with a nice camera, with a nice screen that can accommodate things. And of course, a lot of people are saying, dude, P3 color screen. Why can't we have better monitoring tools? False color. Should be there. Should be there. It's something that people want to use and you say it's a P3 screen. Yeah, add it. Something I noticed also, when you have like the zebras on and the peaking, they don't work the same time when you are applying a viewing LUT. Come on, change that. You make a camera cinema. It's, a lot of people's like, it's not real cinema because you can't do this, but we know, I know, it's a small ass screen right here. Does this thing have monitoring tools? It does not. Did we live with it? Yes, but then you may have to put a monitor on top of it. Okay, but now you have a big screen, which you can accommodate that. And one of the Canon cameras have false colors on it. Cinema camera, false colors, proper monitoring tools. We need it. There are a bevy of things that could be changed, but I think those are like the few things that are kind of annoying at the moment. I hear some people talk about the button up top. I haven't seen an issue where I put in my bag or accidentally turn it on when putting on a lens. Can't say it doesn't happen. Yeah, but as I'm talking about that, one thing I noticed, like when I'm setting up the camera here and I'm sitting, it will turn off in a couple of minutes or go into sleep mode. And maybe that's a good thing to keep it from overheating, because I know the Nikon, I could set it up and I have that delay mode to set to like never or whatever it is. And when I'm setting up things and dialing things in and going back and forth, the camera's still running, plugged into the battery, and I come back, hot camera warning. So maybe that's a reason why they did that, but at least give us an option for like a 2-minute thing or so when you set up the camera, just something. But for what the camera is, I mean, there's a lot of things that it does well. I'm still learning some things, and some of the things I talk about, I remember my first video when I mentioned that you can put like the LUT look on the camera. That's something a lot of people didn't talk about, because seemingly most people think that the only good thing for this camera is to shoot in red RAW. Nah, dude, Nikon RAW is good. And I think when people hear things about there are certain issues occurring and it's no good, it's like, no, they're gonna sort that out. Yes, it's taken a long time, but for right now, this red, was it NRAW to red conversion, that is actually working. I've tried it. I posted a video on it so you guys can see what that is. If you shoot NRAW, you can get around that blue clipping thing. But the NRAW images in normal situation, we don't have a lot of blue lights in it. I mean, it's awesome. I shot my first 8K video by accident when I was in Malaysia some years ago before I live here now. And when I looked at it, I was like, wow, this is just some freaking awesome image. And I played around with the 8K in low light, and I remember I got annoyed because I didn't know about the higher what is the second base ISO, and the the footage just was grainy. And yeah, once I learned about that, it's like, yeah, tweak it, you can get it to work. When I film, like, I want to see what the situation is like on the street. And I know if you watch a movie, most of them aren't showing the streets as like almost daylight looking. It's nighttime. You get a little bit of darkness. They do add lights to it to make it brighter, but then they, darken it post to kind of give that same feel. If you can get that look or close to it when you're filming, that's what I want. I don't want to be all the way up there at 12,800 and then now it's got so much noise reduction on it that it's looking like crap. But anyway, so the guy say, well, it's fine. But then a few people years later say, no, it doesn't look good. It's actually mushy. It is what it is. And the mushiness, they talk about the H.265 in the ZR. I just did a video on that one. You guys can watch it if you haven't seen it yet. But every camera is going to get some flack when it first comes out or what it can and can't do. I've showed you what this camera can do in this a basic thing, but as time goes on, I'm going to be changing up my lens, shooting in different scenarios so you guys can see that. So like right now, this setup, I'm not using any external lights. And let me start recording here so you can see it. It's just the camera, and it's sitting here with a 24 to 135, sorry, 24 to 120 lens on it, and a ND filter. That's it. And it's basically, and you see where it is, it's basically off. So I've dialed it up. I think I'm using ISO 3200 for this internal look, and it's been getting a bit cloudier, but from what I'm seeing on the monitor, it looks pretty good. And this works. Now, if you don't want to use an ND filter, you're going to have to dial up your shutter speed, not the shutter speed, so your aperture really high, or your shutter speed if you want to come out a shutter angle. But if you want to do more video stuff, shutter angle, play around with that, see how it works. I'm still learning it because I've been used to using shutter speed and get, good quality stuff. If it's too bright outside, crank up that shutter speed and then keep the aperture low to where you want it. Not bad. So there's different ways to go. I made a couple of videos for like beginner Nikon and how to shoot with Nikon cameras. I think I have to do an updated one now that I have the ZR. If you guys want to see that, let me know and I'll put that together. Anyway, I know I can talk a lot, I can ramble. Some things bug me, some things, are there. But I wanted to just kind of share with you guys that this is not like a major downfall for this camera, these little quirks. Does it perform well? Yes. And this is only, not even quite a week yet with this camera. I got it Sunday last Sunday in Hong Kong. So 7 days, not quite 7 days yet. But some of you only got it for a few days, been playing around with it and see what it's like. I shot a lot of footage and, I've seen it was good. I don't want to talk about it again, but yeah, I'm going to shoot some more. From what I've seen, the quality is great when you expose it well. And that's the biggest thing with the red. You have to expose it well because, of course, there is no auto setting. You need to choose your white balance correctly and make sure you dial that in correctly. And of course, if your ISO is kind of off, that's the easy part about it. You can just do that in post and kind of correct some stuff. But yeah, you still want to get your white balance correct. You can still, change the slider for the kelvins to get it right. So it's not the end of the day if you didn't do it correctly. It just means more work. And for those of you guys that are thinking that, it's not going to do what you want it to do, come on. Pretty much every Nikon Z camera has been great with image quality. If you know how to use it, you can get the best from it. Since my Z6 days, I've been messing around with video. Actually, since the first Z6, I saw the video quality from that thing was awesome. But I wasn't expert. I was experimenting, and when I got to the Z6 II, I figured out how to make things work better. I got the Optimus Ninja because the 10-bit 422 looked nicer And, you know, remember, while people say it's not in the camera, it's putting out the signal to the Ninja, and the Ninja's recorded it in that. So yes, Nikon can do that if they want to. I'm not sure why they don't, but you know, the availability is there to do it. And for me, been shooting YouTube videos, most of that is 10 with 420. Does it look bad? No. That's what I use most of the time. And I've done probably 150 or 200 videos with Nikon cameras. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap up before this video gets too much longer. If you have any comments and things about the ZR that you have questions about, let me know. I'm still diving through the reference guide and playing around with the camera and testing things on my own. Sometimes sticking out in the balcony and trying things and going outside and shooting just so I can learn things about the camera. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.